Alright, y'all. So look, Doug Boxing Talk. First video on the channel. I've been wanting to create a channel to talk boxing. I've been following boxing for a while now. I got a couple other channels, Coach Doug, where I do track and field. Y'all probably see me in the comment section on a lot of boxing videos. I also have Limit Breaker Doug. That's my gaming channel. I'm trying to get off the ground as well. Then I got this channel. So what I want to talk about today, or right quick, the Errol Spence interview just dropped, a few days ago. And he was kind of discussing, the Terrence Crawford fight, what led up to it, et cetera, et cetera. So really what I want to get into is the problem that I have with a lot of boxing fans and bias and not being able to admit, what's plainly in front of us. Now, there were a lot of us running around, and we were telling people, hey, Earl wasn't the same in that fight. He didn't look good. He looked high. He looked weak. He looked drained. But then you got people who either just wanted to see Earl fail or were just Terrence Crawford stands that were like, nah, he always looked sleepy. He looked normal. And so this is the biggest problem that I have with boxing fans, right? Is you can like a fighter or you can dislike a fighter, but when it comes to those two fighters getting into the ring, you have to be able to step back and be objective. You have to be able to look at it and call a spade a spade. Now, did I pick Errol Spence to beat Terrence Crawford before the fight? Yes. I thought Errol was going to show up the way he showed up in the past fights that we'd watched up until that point. If the Errol Spence that fought Sean Porter would have been in the ring with Terrence Crawford that night, my honest opinion, I think he still loses, but I think it's the competitive fight that we thought we were going to get. Seeing that version of Errol versus like a Sean Porter or Lamont Peterson or those guys, any of those fights before the car accident versus the version of him that was in the ring with Terrence Crawford that night, is night and day. It's not even close. And a lot of people like to say, well, he fought Ugas. Look at the fight with Ugas. He looked good in that fight. Not really. If you go back and look at that fight with Ugas, he looked weaker. He was just a better fighter than Ugas, period. And if he would have fought Ugas before the car accident, he probably knocks Ugas out cold. But people not being able to admit, you know what, Earl didn't look the way, he normally looks coming to the ring. He didn't look the way he normally looked going to the body and things like that. He didn't look good. He looked weak. And even today, looking at these videos that they post of him hitting the bag, like compared to his bag work from the past versus his bag work now, it's just not, he still doesn't look like he's back. And I think we've seen the best version of Errol Spence that we're gonna see. I don't think I'm concerned about this fight with Tim Tszyu. I want him to win. I believe he can win. But man, if these videos he putting out are any indication, we saw the signs, right? I'm from Dallas, so of course I'm gonna ride with Earl. I got merch, I got all kind of shit. Supporting the hometown guy. So my heart didn't want to see him lose to Terrence Crawford, and it hurt my heart to see him lose in the fashion that he lost. Like that shit was painful to watch. But looking at like his bag work and just looking at him now, he doesn't seem like he's much different from the guy who fought Terrence Crawford. I'm hoping that when he gets into the ring that changes on fight night, but I don't have a good feeling about it. If he comes out victorious, I'll be happy about it. But then the question is, well, who does he fight next? Because, man, I don't want to see him in there with Fundora. I don't really want to see him in there with any of the top guys. And I think he kind of already alluded to that in one of those interviews he did. He did that sit down after the press conference. And they asked him, who do you want, Fundora, or do you want belts, or you just kind of want to fight? He said he don't really care about collecting belts anymore. He's already done that. So I think, it'll be in his best interest to avoid Sebastian Fundora like the plague. Because Fundora put his lights out for good. I don't want to see that. Fundora is a scary fight for anybody. But again, it's my first video on this channel. So like I said, check out my track and field channel. If you're in the track and field, it's Coach Doug. I have the link in the description. And then, like I said, I'm getting my gaming channel off the ground too. So, you know, for my people, my culture people, black people, if you want to get put on some different kind of games, you know, and not just be a ball and gun gamer, just playing, you know, Call of Duty, 2K, Madden, FIFA, shit like that. You want to get put on some other games, or maybe even play with me. You know, we can mess around and run some games. Check out my gaming channel, Limit Breaker Doug. I'll also have that in the description as well. But until next time, I'll catch y'all on the other side. Peace.